friend. I really don't. Awesome. So yeah, so I'll touch a little bit in the slides about who I am, but my name is Lauren, and I co-own the LKW Home Team in Columbus, Ohio, with my partner. We've been licensed since 2017, so we've been in before the craziness, and we're still here after the craziness of the 2020, 2022 COVID years. So a little bit about what I'm going to teach you today is how to use AI not only to, like Dylan said, write emails and have some fun with it, but to actually use it to be more efficient in your business, automate a lot of the different mundane and tedious processes that we all have. Make sure that no lead is getting left behind. So we're going to go over a slew of things. This is a very 30,000-foot view. I know we only have an hour together. But at the end, I'll definitely give you a QR code to my Linktree so you can get in touch with me. In the end, if you want to be a part of my community, talk a little bit more about anything that you have questions on and things like that. I do have the chat box up, so if you have any questions in the moment, please feel free to either raise your hand or drop those questions, because the odds are if you have that question, other people in this room and on this recording are also going to have the same question. So don't be shy. Okay? Awesome. All right. So first and foremost, I'm going to teach you a little bit about not only AI, but how to use it as an agent to build million-dollar systems and what frameworks you can utilize in your business today. So first thing, AI is not coming. It is already here. I know ChatGPT was a buzzword back in 2022. There's been a lot of different things that have been AI along the way, but we're going to go over a lot of different things that you probably haven't heard of that are going to make your life a lot easier throughout this process. Second, AI is not here to replace you. The agents who are using AI, though, there's going to be a huge gap over the next 4 to 6 years of people who are using AI to scale their business while getting back their freedom, versus those who continuously do the mundane manual processes that we've all been taught. This isn't going to be another AI training. This is actually going to be something that you can take today and implement this afternoon or tomorrow. Some of these things I'm going to teach you, and it's going to change not only your business, but it's also going to change your life. So the next 60 minutes, you're going to learn exact strategies of how I have automated about 75% of our business in the last year. So as promised, a little bit about what we're going to go over. My only goal for today is that every single one of you leaves this room and has something that you can implement to help change your business and your life right now. I want all of you to gain an unfair advantage. And like I said, AI is not here to replace you as the agent. But once you learn some of the things that I'm going to teach you today, you can't unlearn them. So you're going to utilize this to take market share, to get a competitive advantage against your competition. And you're going to utilize it to showcase yourself as the agent of the future to your clients, which should help you with referrals, repeat business, past clients, and things like that as well. So first, for context, how did I get here? So back in 2023, in October, I realized that AI was here to stay. I was very skeptical about it in the beginning. I was very much so the person who thought it was a bright, shiny object, a distraction for me to learn something else, and I just didn't have the time. So I realized very quickly that I had two choices. I could either be a skeptic to what AI is, or I could embrace the AI for what it has become. And again, that was about 18 months ago. So over the course of 18 months, I have spent a lot of time, energy, and effort in understanding not only what these processes and opportunities are, but in paying to learn them. So my goal is to streamline all of this for you and give you kind of the cheat code. So again, you can take this right away and change your business and change your life. So in 2023, we had 11 people on our team. It was my partner and I. We had 7 agents. And as we were entering 2024, we found ourselves with only 3. It was a down market. We had a couple people go out on their own as solo agents. We had a couple people get out of the business altogether. And interest rates were high. NAR settlement was lingering in the background. And we really didn't know how we were going to sustain the business that we had had with 11 people and continue on that trajectory with only 3. So statistically speaking, you lose over half your team. 2024 should have been a horrible year for us. And what we saw happen was with only 43% of our team left, our business actually grew. We ended up increasing our units by 18%. We increased our volume by 22.4%. And the best part, I know we all are always worried about our bottom line. We increased our GCI by 35.8% with less than half of our team because I learned and implemented AI in our business. And the best part is we didn't even take commission on 8 of those deals. So my partner and I are investors, and we took $1 commission on 8 of those 113 properties. 8 out of 113 properties, we took zero commission, more than $1, and we still increased our GCI by 35.8% year over year. So we spent 8 months on the Ohio Valley region top 20 teams list, again, with only 3 agents. I don't know if you know Chabris Group, but they have like 40 people on their team. So I don't think we'll ever catch up with them, but very proud for such a small team to be on the top 20 list, especially for 8 months in a row in such a down market. We received our $1 Million Agent Award. And the best part for me is I have received this. I have a bot for that award because I quite literally helped everyone in our office build bots for anything that they need based upon what I have done with our business. So there's our little fun award that I'm going to choose was a poke of fun and not actually something making fun of what I'm doing. So how did I do all this? The long answer, like I said, thousands of hours, over $60,000 in courses and certifications and learning, coaches, mentors, a lot of frustration, a lot of late nights, and AI. So in a promise to not gatekeep with you, I'm going to give you the full out and give you the exact blueprint without you having to spend all of that time, energy, and effort. I recently spoke at the International AI Real Estate Summit. This was back in February. It was for investors and commercial developers using AI. There's me in that big group. I spoke, like Dylan said, at the Ohio Valley Region Top Agent Mastermind, specifically on AI and how I've grown our business with it. I'm not sure if any of you know Neil Dringa, but he's a huge player in the personal brand and content space in real estate. I spoke at his mastermind in San Diego earlier this year. And I actually leave tomorrow. It says in 2 weeks because I haven't updated these slides, but I leave tomorrow to go fly to Atlanta and speak with Jeff Glover and the brand builders for the Agent Summit for the Southeast region. So this has quickly taken off as people are realizing what I've been able to do with our business. And this is exactly why I've kind of streamlined all of these systems and processes into a quick 60-minute, 90-minute speech and talk with you guys for all these different brokerages, because it truly is a game changer. And I want you to understand how you can get your time back while streamlining your business. So first and foremost, there's a lot of myths out there about AI. I want to debunk the top 5 that I hear. And this comes from new agents all the way up to people who have been in the business for 30 plus years. Again, AI is not replacing you, but the agents who use AI will absolutely be dominating because there is such a gap in efficiency versus the manual. And there's such a gap in how quickly you're able to come up with ideas and pivot in those ideas, coming up with market share analyses, CMAs. So we'll walk through the most efficient ways today. But again, like I said, this is a 30,000 foot view. So we're not getting super tactical, but I will show you snippets of each of the best efficient ways to change your business overnight. I hear it all the time that AI is too complicated. I promise you, if you can use Google, you can use AI. And I actually was part of a Gary Vee event recently where he told the entire crowd, raise your hand if you're using ChatGPT or Perplexity more than you're using Google these days. And about half the room of 1,000 people's hands went up. So that should be an indicator as to what the differences are of what you're able to do with AI versus just Google. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But AI in what most people are using is they're using it like Google. What is the best business plan? What is the best caption? I'm going to teach you how to prompt it and get a lot better output in today's session so you can start using this right away in your business. Also, I hear all the time that AI is not necessary. I get it. I was a skeptic in the first place as well. I thought that it was the shiny object to distract me. But once I got a hand on it and once I learned exactly what it was capable of doing, I realized that it absolutely is necessary to not only stay with where everything is going, but stay ahead of it. Instead of surviving, we're going to thrive using AI. And like I said, they said the same thing about the MLS when it went on the when it went on the internet. They said the same thing about Zillow, social media, content creation, personal brand, right? All of these things have popped up, and it's just more balls for us to juggle as entrepreneurs, especially in real estate, where it's noisy and there's so much uncertainty. But AI is here to help you enhance your business and make sure that you stay top of mind, most relevant, and the best known in your market. AI is expensive. Look, if you take the route that I did, where it was trying to break the system and buy all the free trials and learn all of the things, yeah, it could definitely be expensive. But I'm going to streamline that for you. And it's going to replace and save so much money on different tools that you're using. Not that I want to replace jobs, but you're going to enhance what your VAs or your assistants are able to accomplish and get so much more done, so much more effectively. And instead of paying, maybe for 10, 15 different systems, we can get AI in one space, which is going to save you time, energy, and effort and money. And the last one I hear all the time is AI isn't personal. I don't want my clients talking to a bot. I don't want them thinking that I don't care enough to respond to what they're saying. And I totally understand, but AI is completely customizable. It enhances your human connection because what it's doing is it's taking all of those mundane tasks off of your plate, all the admin work, all the follow-up, all of the, ads and things like that that maybe you do in your business. And it's freeing up that time so you can spend more face-to-face time with those clients that you already have instead of drowning in that paperwork. And even if it's not spending time with clients, spending time with your family, spending time on your health, spending time on vacation, whatever that is for you and your business. So why do most agents feel stuck? I have done so much market research on this in the last 7 months. A lot of them say that they're chasing cold leads. We get a lot of tire kickers, we get a lot of bad phone numbers, bad email addresses, which leads to inconsistent income. We all know the ebbs and the flows. Your pipeline gets super busy and then everything closes, and then it's like, uh-oh, I got to go prospect again. They feel stuck in the follow-up. And a lot of them, especially newer in the business, they feel like they're starting over every single month. The three core problems that I've identified is there's no systematized lead flow. So even in Command, we do have drip campaigns and smart plans and things like that, but there's nothing systematized to ensure that once you have a lead come through your ecosystem, not only are they not falling through the cracks, but you're not the one having to spin your wheels over and over of 7 to 10 follow-ups, hamster wheel of call, text, email over and over again. And if you do have those follow-ups, they're manual and they're inconsistent. And I know that there's a lot of days that, you have prospecting on your calendar and a fire pops up or a closing gets changed. So what this AI is going to do is automate all of that for you to ensure that you're still living the life that you need to be living and you're still taking care of those clients in a way that you need to, but you're not missing opportunities in the meantime. And lastly, I hear it all the time that everything depends on us. Sure, a lot of us probably have TCs or VAs, but there's a lot of people who run businesses that if you were to leave for a week or 2 weeks, it likely wouldn't run as efficiently as it would if you were here, or maybe not even at all. So those are the three core problems that I want to solve for you today using AI and showing you what is possible. So imagine what your life would look like if you could trade a few hours this week to free up 15 hours per week, every week for the rest of your life. Does that sound good, anybody? Get a couple weeks of your life back every single year for the rest of your career? Yeah? I think I see, Katie, do you have a little one on you right now? Yep, exactly. I've got a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. I totally get it. So this isn't just about the tools. It's about your power, positioning, and protecting your energy to be a high performer. And again, the 7 to 10 lead follow-ups, it's not about just the time that it takes to do so. It's about the rejection and the not getting calls back and the frustration, right? So this is going to keep your morale up too. So you don't have to drop it in the chat or anything, but what percentage of your business right now depends on you to make it run? Just think about that for a second. I know mine was about 100% before I started getting into AI. And it was all, like I said, nothing would run if it wasn't for me being there. So I want to fix that for you right now. And today, like I said, I've automated about 75% of our business. So I'm very confident that we can reduce about 75% of what you're doing in yours. So imagine waking up tomorrow with AI doing 75% of that work for you, so you can focus only on the high value activities that actually make you money while freeing up your time. Without tech overwhelm, you do not need to be a techie person. I graduated high school with like a 3 point something something maybe. I am not a tech person at all. It took me 9 years to graduate from college. I have a degree in criminal justice administration. I took a very hard left turn in life at about 26 years old. I am not some coder. I am not some programmer. I learned all of this with late nights and YouTube. So I promise you, you do not need to be techie to make this happen for your business. And again, you're not going to be spending months figuring this out because I'm going to short time all of this for you right now. So where do we start? It's a big question that I get. 3 point something, maybe. I'm using that. Yes, Dylan, that's exactly what my mom wouldn't be proud, but that's why we're entrepreneurs, right? We got B's and C's get degrees, I think is what we used to chant in high school. All right, so where do we start? First and foremost is taking as much heavy lifting off your plate as possible. So we're going to focus on efficiency first. The biggest one that I use for efficiency is a free Google platform. It is called Notebook LM. And what this does is it will allow you to take a YouTube link or any sort of document. So think HOA documents, long PDFs, documents that would take, days or hours to skim through. You can get on Notebook LM, hit create new, and what this is going to do is allow you to dump any source into this free platform. So here you can see Google Drive documents, Google Drive slides, website links, YouTube links, any sort of paste text that you might have. You can dump all of the resources into one space for one topic. What you then do from here is it will allow you, I'm just going to go back to one I've already done. It will allow you to take that specific source and it will create you a specific chat bot for that source. So in this example, I took a YouTube video that was about 3 hours long, and now it's giving me a full summary of what this is about. But I also have the ability in real time to say, what are the top 3 topics I should take away from this video as a real estate agent? And again, this is not going to go search the web. This is not trying to anticipate what you're looking for. This is taking whatever sources you've put in here and it's analyzing specifically off those sources, whether that's YouTube video, Google Docs, PDF, doesn't matter. So based off this video that I believe was 3 hours long, it gave me a quick summary. And then I asked it, what are 3 topics I should take away from this video as a real estate agent? And it broke down the exact 3 main topics for me based upon my question. It'll actually cite the sources for you. And it will give you a full-blown chat conversation so you can continuously ask it more questions as you get deeper into what those answers are for your business. Beyond that, aside from just a chat bot that you now have for this source, it can give you things like a study guide. It can give you a frequently asked questions. It can give you a full timeline or a briefing document. So think of it this way. Think of you are really wanting to learn, how to farm in your community better. And you found what you think is a great YouTube video, but it's 2.5 hours long and you just don't have 2.5 hours to sit down and watch it. What you would do is copy and paste that YouTube link into Notebook LM, and it would give you opportunity to ask the bot any questions that you have based upon that information. It will also give you, like I said, a study guide. It'll break down questions for you. It'll break down glossary. It will further explain anything that you have. any questions you have about the topic. So if any of you have ever used a mind map before, this is a great place to get it to niche down more and more about what questions you have. So for example, this mind map pulls up and says the top 5 topics that this video talked about were AI benefits, AI myths, understanding AI tools and tech stack, and successful implementation. So maybe we really want to focus on implementation. So we click this button. And now we have a chat bot that is specific for implementation about this video. And again, we can jump in here and have full-blown conversations with it and ask it questions. So this is going to take hours of studying and learning. Anyone on this recording, if you don't have an hour to watch this recording, take the YouTube link, dump it in here, and start to have the conversation with it to extract the information that would be best for you out of the information that I'm giving you here today. Another really cool feature is if you're an auditory learner and you would learn best from this video, but you don't have the time to do it, you can actually click and create a podcast where 2 AIs will discuss the information based upon that source. So again, if you're doing a YouTube video or HOA documents or whatever that is, they will actually create a podcast based on AI's voices. And this is what it sounds like.
Okay, so you ready to dive in? Today, we're going to be talking about AI and how it can really change your real estate business.
Oh, yeah. And I think, the cool thing is it's not just going to change it. It's going to make your life easier. And we all want that, right?
Really. Who wouldn't want to work less and get more done?
Exactly. So
this podcast, you could pop your AirPods in, and now you've got 24 minutes instead of a 3-hour video of listening to what AI has pulled out and extracted as the most important information. If you want to take it one step further, you can actually interrupt the podcast hosts and ask them specific questions. So for example, if we go through, let's go to about minute 6 or 7 here.
ChatGPT for the creative brainstorming, Perplexity for the facts and the details.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Hit interactive mode.
Okay, so you're ready to dive in. Today we're going to be talking about AI and how it can, oh, wait, someone wants to join. Hey, go for it.
Hey, I have a quick question. How can I get the top 3 things I should be doing as a real estate agent out of this podcast?
Absolutely. We love questions. What's on your mind?
Yeah, jump right in. We're happy to take a little detour.
Okay, so you're ready to dive in. Today we're going to be talking about AI and how,
How can I take the top 3 things that would change my business from this video?
Well, that's a fantastic question. You want to cut right to the chase? I love it.
Absolutely. And based on what Lauren emphasized, I think we can definitely pinpoint 3 game changers.
Okay, so the first one, and this came up a lot, is really embracing AI as that superpower we talked about.
Exactly.
So you can literally interrupt the podcast hosts if you're on a specific topic and you're like, wait a second, I don't quite understand that, or I want them to dive a little bit deeper. You can interrupt those podcast hosts in real time, and they will actually stop, allow you to ask a question, and then pivot the podcast. So it's literally you're guiding the conversation to the information that you're going to use best in extracting that out of that video. So that is the biggest one, in my opinion, for taking long form content that you want to learn and don't have time to, and niching it down into a quick summary, an interactive chat bot specific to that source, a podcast that you can interrupt and fully have conversation with, frequently asked questions, and a full study guide, just like we're in high school all over again. All right, who raised their hand here?
While you're figuring out who raised their hand, I'm mind blown, Lauren. I told you I'm not techie at all. I do multiple different things in life, and I'm sitting here just thinking of the things that I can do with this. I do a sports podcast and for UK sports. I'm sitting here thinking about I can send my own podcast and give summaries and send it to people. And I can have 2 people talk about what I talked about to figure out how I can do better. Or I'm thinking in real estate, these videos that are so long, this is just I know you're going to show us way more intriguing things than this, but That's a game changer for me. The podcast aspect, I mean, I've seen a couple AI platforms that'll do the summary, but the podcast and hopping in and asking the questions is a real game changer.
It really is. And I think too, you're exactly right. I mean, if you're doing podcasts yourself, you could put your own link in here and have a full conversation about where could I get better? Where were the leaks in my conversation? What better, deeper questions could I ask this person before you even interview them? You could take their LinkedIn, their Instagram, all the information about them and have this extract the information that would be the best questions you should ask them. There's a lot of different ways and use cases for this along, life or business in every step of the way.
So did somebody else have their hand up real quick before she
I
moved?
thought they did, but maybe
Maybe it was me.
that's all right.
All right, anybody else? Real quick, just unmute if so. You ain't got to raise your hand, because I know she's got a lot to get through.
Yes, it would be amazing before a recruiting appointment because you could dump, their stats, their sales, who they are, their brand, everything in there, and you can just literally have a full-blown chatbot that knows specifically who they are. So it will prompt you to ask deeper questions. You could put their KPA, their DISC test. You could put all those sources in here for that one person and create an entire folder around that person as you recruit them or interview them.
That's crazy.
All right. Well, if you're mind blown, let's keep going and see how much more mind blown you can get. All right. So let me go back here. Here is the scan. If you guys want to scan real quick, I'll send Dylan these slides, so don't feel the need to, pull out your phone and rush. But I put in here just a quick little video overview of how to do everything. And again, if you guys have any questions, it's all free on Google so far for the Notebook LM and the next thing I'm going to show you. And if you have any questions, I'll also give you my link tree so you can reach out to me in the future as well. So like I said, use cases for this on this platform are endless. And the second one, also free, is the Google AI Studio as a full. So what this does is ai.studio.google is where you would get things like Gemini. And Gemini is a lot like ChatGPT. It's a large language model, which you can chat with, but they have this new feature called Stream. And what Stream does is allows you to share your screen with the AI, and it will look at your screen and walk you through whatever questions you have about literally anything. So let me just pull this up and say, I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to, oops. I'm going to ask it some questions here. Hey, Google.
Okay. Yes.
How would I create a lead magnet form to walk through this workflow to ensure that my leads are getting followed up with right away?
In the workflow shown in the video, I see that you have a Facebook lead form submission as a trigger. After the trigger, I see actions such as internal notification, create contact, add tag, assign to user, and another internal notification. Are you asking how to set up each of these actions within the workflow?
Yeah, or do you think there's a better way that I should process this?
In terms of optimizing your lead magnet workflow, what specific outcome or goal are you hoping to improve?
I want to be sure the lead is followed up with right away and it is high value to the lead.
To make sure leads are followed up with right away and are high value, have you considered using automated email sequences or SMS notifications in your workflow?
Yes, I have a few in here.
I see you've added both a GPT integration and an SMS notification from ChatGPT to your workflow. How are you using these tools to enhance lead engagement and follow-up?
All right, so I won't spend too much time on that, but if you're having trouble building out a sequence in Command, or the first thing I ever used it on was I could not for the life of me figure out a formula in Google Sheets. So if you go to this AI Studio and turn on the live stream and then look at whatever you need help with and ask it questions, it will actually tell you where to click, what buttons to push, what your next step is, how to better optimize it. It'll show you everything looking over your shoulder. So you basically have a 24/7 assistant now at your fingertips for anything you could possibly need. And because it's run by Google, they know just about every single website that's on the internet whatsoever. So whether it's something that, you're building out lead ads on Facebook and you're confused, or PPC on Google, it's literally anything, and it will know what you're looking at and help you walk through step by step on what you need to be doing. When you're done utilizing the over-the-shoulder 24/7 assistant, it will actually give you an SOP. So it will walk you through each step that it took with you, the questions it asked, the answers it gave you. So if you do have a VA or you do have a transaction coordinator, then what you could do is just send this off to them. So you're not having to teach them over and over. You need help, you walk through with the Google Assistant. It creates the entire SOP for you, and then you send it off to whomever needs it, and then they can create what they need to create from there. You do it one time, set it and forget it. Any questions on that one? It's also free. So both things we've talked about so far are free. All right, we'll move on to the next one. So AI enhanced research assistants. So I know a lot of you use ChatGPT. Other big ones are Perplexity, Gemini, Grok has become pretty big this year. So all of these different models are what's called an LLM, a large language model. And what they do is they're advanced artificial intelligence that are trained on massive amounts of text data to understand and generate and process human language at scale. So what does that mean? It means that not only have they been trained on, millions of documents to learn and analyze and understand, and not only understand it, but also reason with it, but they each now have their own way of scraping the internet or going out and searching for more information. So here's the big ones in the game right now: ChatGPT, Cloud, Gemini, Jasper, Llama, Perplexity, DeepSeek, and Grok. All of them do functionally about the same thing. Each of them is owned and operated by different companies, though. So for example, ChatGPT has become known for its conversational abilities and its wide application range. So I personally use ChatGPT to brainstorm ideas I already have, enhance, blogs, newsletters, listing descriptions, SOPs, business plans. It's a very conversational piece that gets to know me, and I use it to converse and enhance everything based upon the information I have already given it. Now, if you move on to Cloud, it's recognized as creative writing and storytelling capabilities. So if you're writing an ebook, or you're writing a more intimate, more in-depth blog or newsletter, maybe you're going to use Cloud to have that writing capability that's just a little bit better than what ChatGPT offers. Gemini is great for data analysis and predictive modeling. Jasper is good for content creation and marketing automation. So they each have their own little niche, but in the grand scheme of things, if you're only using ChatGPT, it can do all of these things. We're just going to have to train it a little bit better to make sure that it is learning and encapsulating whatever needs you need within the LLM itself. The best way to do this is what is called prompting. So typically, if you're looking for a business plan for a real estate agent, you're going to type in business plan for a real estate agent, right? And you're going to get something that's pretty vague back. But what prompting does is you allow the ChatGPT to learn about what it is exactly you're looking for. So best practices for what we call prompt engineering is to create a prompt that allows ChatGPT to know who to simulate. So if you're creating a business plan, maybe you were telling it to act as a Fortune 500 business specialist. Or if you're creating a marketing plan, maybe we're telling it to act as a marketing strategist. If you really like the way that Ryan Serhant or Barbara Corcoran or any of these big players in the game do what they do, tell it to simulate that person's marketing strategist or business analyst. From there, we're going to give it a task. So we need to tell it specifically what we want it to do, whether that's create, a 30-day social media calendar, or create a market analysis for your farming area, Whatever it is that you want it to do, you got to tell it specifically, or else it's going to anticipate and try to, get ahead of what you're thinking, and it's not going to give you the output that you specifically are looking for. Step 3 is to give it the steps to complete that task. Does it need to go search the internet? Does it need to look at this Instagram profile? So back to Dylan's recruiting. If you wanted it to act as a Fortune 500 recruiter, or you wanted it to act as the best recruiter in the world, if you had a specific name, you could tell it to do that too. But you would tell it to understand and analyze that person's LinkedIn profile, their sales history, what their brand is like. It could literally pull any sort of information that you want, and then you could have it break down steps. So I want you to analyze this person's LinkedIn and Instagram, and I want you to find me the top 5 most efficient questions to, ask them in an interview to see if they're a good fit for our brand, or analyze their KPA and their DISC test to see what kind of agent they would be. Are they better for a team or a solo agent? There's a ton of use cases for this, but the better that you're putting the input of what you want ChatGPT to do, the better the output that you're going to get. You can also give it context and constraints. So if you're analyzing, a farming area, and you say, hey, the market changed 3 months ago, tell it that. Say, I understand that the market changed 3 months ago, interest rates went up. I don't want you to analyze any ranches because this is a 2-bedroom. So you can give it context and constraints on exactly what you want it to be doing based on the prompt that you're giving it. Fifth, we're gonna ask it, or tell it what goal we want. Are we trying to get this to, maybe give us a seller market analysis on what exactly is going on? Are we looking for this to increase our followers with a marketing plan by 10,000 people in the next 30 days? What is the goal that you have based upon the input that you're giving it? And then how would you like it to format that output? Do you want it to be an email sequence, a text sequence, a list of questions for an interview, a seller guide for the farming area? So being specific in what it is that you want them to act like, do, the steps you want them to complete, the context and constraints you want, the goals and the output, it's going to give you a much more comprehensive, robust response to your question than just asking it, I want you to give me a marketing plan, or I want you to give me a market analysis on this zip code. So-
Real quick before you go on with that,
Yeah.
let me know real quick in the chat, guys, if you can. I think that this is, she's showing us a lot of cool new features and gadgets, but I think this is the main thing that we can all implement right now. Wouldn't you agree, Lauren? And if you agree with that, let me know in the chat, because what I've been doing is like, for instance, before I go on a recruiting appointment, I'm making the layout of the recruiting appointment. I'm typing it up and those kind of things. And I'm the offer sheets, I'm typing those up instead. I could just be prompting better to them. And then I can, of course, edit and those things before I go. But I feel like the one thing that, and like you said, this is stuff that's not taking somebody's job. This is stuff I'm doing right now that could make my job easier. And I think that's the thing that I think that we can all learn from. I think that the reason I want to stop now is you're probably all using AI right now to help you form an email. Let's just be honest. We're all just hitting the talk button on our phone and going, I'm about to send an email to Lauren that's going to tell her this, and this, make it grammatically correct, boom, and then get off and there's the email sent to me. But I think the thing that we can save ourselves a lot of time with this prompting, even if we don't implement bots that are answering the phone for us.
Absolutely. So for example, I just went to my LinkedIn page. I'll just show you a quick example, Dylan, of how you could utilize this in real time. So I went to my LinkedIn page, and again, you could pull more sources, you could pull my numbers, you could pull my Instagram, you could pull anything. And you could say, act as a high producing real estate recruit, analyze this LinkedIn profile or Instagram profile, whatever information you're giving it, and give me the top 10 questions I should ask this agent in an interview. and then you just paste the LinkedIn or the Instagram, whatever it is, and it's going to go scrape my entire LinkedIn page and find you specific questions you should be asking me based on my information. So you can see here, it's searching the web.
For those that are recruiting on a team, to add team members, you can set up a meeting with me. We could easily pull broker metric reports and do it year by year, date by date, and send it to them and see whose business is up, down, and things like that, who we can target.
Absolutely. So this is just off my LinkedIn page, nothing else. It is telling you exactly what the top 10 interview questions should be for me specifically, and why you should ask them. So can you share your experience in the Columbus real estate market and how it shaped your approach to client services? Purpose, understand her local market experience and client engagement strategies. So not only is it giving you the answer, but it's giving you the why behind why you should ask that question. That way you're continuously learning and adapting and getting better. So every interview you do, you can come back and, pro tip, every interview you do, record it if you're allowed to, dump it into the chat and say, what could I have done better? Based on my business plan, is this person a good fit? You could ask it literally anything, and it will give you all of those answers to your questions. And the more you teach it, the more it learns about you and your business too.
Lauren, I know that you're probably doing this at a higher level, but on iPhones now, there's a little button in the top left corner that says record the phone call. And when I have phone calls with recruits and they know like we're 2 or 3 phone calls in, I'll say, hey, I'm going to record this just so I can take notes later. And then I've just dropped those recordings into ChatGPT of just the phone call. And then it gives me a summary and gives me next steps that I should take. And that's just something I've been doing because we can now record our phone calls. But now it does tell them you're recording the phone call. But
Yeah.
like just telling them, hey, I'm gonna record this so I can make some notes later because we're talking and I want to focus on our conversation. And then dropping the phone call recording into ChatGPT is just something I've been doing at a small level.
Yeah, and I think you could almost take that threefold, Dylan. You could say, one, based on this phone call, are they a good fit for what I need? Whether it's a recruit on your team, a recruit in your office, you're hiring, you're firing, whatever it is. 2, if they're not a good fit for you, tell me where they might be a good fit so you can help guide them and direct them so you're still giving them value and not just burning the bridge of the relationship. And 3 would be at the end of it, you could almost use it as a sales call coach or a recruiting call coach and say, what could I have done better on my end in asking better questions or directing them in the way that I wanted to get the outcome that I was looking for? I think that'd be huge. So if you wanted to take all that information, I do believe I have my KPA sum here real quick. I'll just pull it up so you can kind of see let me see if I've got it. I don't want to take too much time on here, but let's see. Yep, I got my KPA here. So if I were to then put my KPA in here and say, based upon my business, would this recruit be a good fit for my team? Give me 10 reasons why or why not. So then if they are a good fit, it's helping you create the offer sheet and saying, this is why we think you'd be a good fit for us. And if they're not, it's helping you construct a reason as to, hey, you're really assertive, you're really goal driven, but unfortunately, maybe culture or whatever that is doesn't fit with our team. You're coming up with data driven reasons, and it's no longer emotional. So this will give you, so the way I have mine split up is it'll give you 2 different responses and I get to choose. You don't have to do that with yours. But this will give you the top 10 reasons why I would be a good fit for my own team. That's really good that it says I'm a good fit for my own team. You're assertive and goal driven. You thrive off basic structure, but wants freedom to execute. High emotional resilience and intensity. So it'll actually break all of this down for you. So when you're creating these types of offer letters or rejection letters or whatever, buyer consults, seller consults, whatever that is, you can actually give full-blown data-driven information. So potential red flags or watchouts. I don't like tight rules or micromanagement. That's why I'm the rainmaker, not the agent on the team. So it'll give you all of these things in a matter, like I literally typed in one, two sentences, and it gave me all of this information in a matter of minutes based upon the profile and the KPA that I gave it. Awesome. So next up, I know we're kind of running short on time here, but I want to make sure I get through everything for you guys. Next up, we've got a quick example. So this is something that, hey, I want a 30-day workout. Okay, it's going to give me something super vague, squats, deadlifts, whatever. But if I tell it I want a 90-day muscle and weight gain plan, here's who I am, here's what I weigh, here's how old I am, here's what I enjoy doing. Look at the difference in this. It gives me my daily caloric intake goals. It gives me my protein, my carbs, my fats. It gives me sample meal plans. So that's the difference in a vague and unique, prompt versus a unique prompt and telling it exactly what it is you're looking for. If a lot of you are using ChatGPT, this is going to be a quick game changer for you as well. So if you're on the $20 paid version, it will not work on the free version, but if you're on the $20 paid version, up in the right-hand corner where it has your profile picture, you can actually customize your ChatGPT. It's the third one down. Hit Customize ChatGPT, and you can actually tell it what to call you, what you do, what traits you want it to have, and train it on your business. So every time you have any sort of conversation with it, it already knows who you are and how you like to be spoken to. It already knows what your business does, and you can actually have it save memory every single time that you build anything out. So you're not having to reinvent the wheel every time you get in. So customizing your ChatGPT is very simple, fast, easy way to get it to know you a little bit better. And secondly, I'm not sure if anyone in here is using this, but you can actually customize GPTs in your ChatGPT to have specific jobs. So for example, I have an AI sales closer. I can come in here and drop a phone call from a prospect. Maybe I'm calling expireds or FSBOs, and I can record that conversation, drop it in here, and I can have it, how do I overcome these objections better? Or what's a follow-up script that this person said they wanted to talk to their spouse? So you can actually use it and have it train you better based upon the conversations you're having. And what I did here is I actually created this sales closer based upon people like Zig Ziglar and the Wolf of Wall Street. So it knows to go pull that information about those high converting negotiators and prospectors and closers. So when it does give me the response back, it's giving me something from the realm of those types of people. It's not just guessing. It's going to say, hey, if Zig Ziglar was the one who was actually, looking at this phone conversation, here's what he would tell you to do. Or if you're a Hormozy fan, you could have it talk to you like it's Alex Hormozy. You could train these things to be whatever it is that you want them to be, to give you the output that you're specifically looking for in literally everything. All right, let me see here. I've got a couple more minutes. So here's just a couple use cases for ChatGPT. You could use it for lead nurturing campaigns, your marketing content, could build AI chatbots, your sales scripts, your social media, email campaigns, all of these things. Like I said, if you tell it to save to memory and you've got the $20 version, it can just build off of what you've already built. So for example, I have, maybe I want to do a newsletter. I could come over here to the projects portion and I could say I want to build a newsletter. And what I could do is train this project, train these bots specific to, I'm going to put all of my past newsletters in there. I'm going to put all of the things my clients want to hear about on a weekly basis in there. I could dump, I'm not sure about you guys, but our board comes out with like the end of the month marketing reports. You could dump that information in there and then tell it to only pull the zip codes that you work in. And it will help create projects for you and remember exactly what you're trying to do, so you don't have to recreate that wheel over and over and over. All right, I could talk about this stuff all day. I know we've got like 5 minutes left. I want to respect everybody's time. So, are there any questions specifically? Like I said, this slide deck is about 100 more slides. I'll send it over to Dylan, so you guys can go through it, and we can always do a follow-up call, or you guys can feel free to reach out to me on DMs or whatever. But I
Hey.
think the efficiency side is the huge, time saver in a lot of it.
Real quick, I want to say before we're going to get into some ahas and questions for her really quick, but I want to say thank you to Lauren, first of all, because I know this is like a game changer for me. Like I'm sitting here, I have a recruiting appointment tomorrow at noon for a huge team, and like the way I'm preparing today is changing right now because of this call. And I think that I'm not taking away jobs, like you said. What I'm doing is now I'm going to just make my life quicker, easier, and probably more efficient. I also, real quick, before we go into ahas and questions, because I know sometimes people have to hop off. Remember, Lauren is in the Columbus area, and I always like to mention that when we send out the slides, we'll send out our contact information. If you have referrals in the area, anybody that teaches for us, remember these people that bring value to us, because some of our biggest agents are on here. Remember her when you go to do things in that area, or you have friends or family moving, because I know that's a main reason why a lot of people are willing to teach. Not Lauren, she would have helped us anyways, but like make sure to remember her when you do that. I always like to mention that. Real quick, does anybody have any questions or ahas so she can expand on something or answer anything? You can just unmute since we got a short amount of time. We don't have to raise our hands or anything. And some of my top agents on here, if you don't say something, I'll be calling on you.
I just want to say, I don't even know what to ask because I'm so overwhelmed in a good way. Like, wow. The backbone of my business is here. And I was like, oh, you can do that. You can do that. You can do that. So, I mean, wow. Wow. Thank you so much.
I also want to say thank you to expand on what Stephanie said. Stephanie, that's perfect that you said that, because it made me think, well, when I got her on here from the calls that I had, you did a phenomenal job of teaching us what we need to start with. I was a little afraid. You're so good at this stuff, Lauren, that I was like, I'm gonna be getting told how to make my voicemail an AI bot when I don't even know how to prompt. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. I walked into my top 20 the other day and I showed them your bot, and I was like, wait, you guys aren't even doing social media well right now. We can't be making our phones bots right now. We got to start the small stuff first.
Yeah.
If they can start this, and then a couple months we have you back in for an expanded version of how to go to the next level. Once we get this stuff down, I'd love for you guys to take 2 or 3 things, implement them, and then in like a month or two, I'll have Lauren back on and we'll talk about how to go deeper with this. Clay, I know you have a team as well. I knew I was going to call on Stephanie because I knew she would talk for me. Clay, what did you learn from this?
Oh my gosh, so much. So I'm going to I'm going to get the recording and we're going to go over it because the Notebook LM obviously is great, but I'm looking at these other LLMs. I've got, I don't know, 3 pages of notes here, but I'm really big on the marketing piece, and I remember you saying Jasper is good for marketing, so that's one I'm going to be looking at. But yeah, I'll probably be calling you because there's a lot of stuff I want to implement as we grow. I'm a branch partners of Georgetown, Kentucky, and we're trying our best to get that growing. And anything I can do to get looks and likes and just information or visuals and stuff to help grow or to do whatever to recruit agents is what I'm going to be looking to do.
Also, you talked about Katie that was watching on here, the one that had the kids with her. Katie is like Superwoman. She don't care if I call her out. She is like the ultimate. She's got 4 kids, and she's also our number 3 agent in listings and units sold for the market center as a single agent. So Katie, I was sitting here just spinning my brain for you, the things that this could take off your plate, because I'm like, my gosh, Katie's selling, Katie was, like I said, number 2 or 3 for single agents and raising 4 kids. She's like Superwoman. So I was glad to see you on here, Katie.
To be honest, I don't even know what I could say right now. So I'm kind of about like Clay. When I get these slides, I'm gonna start looking through and seeing what I can implement and stuff. But like, wow, it's just all I have to say.
I love it. So yeah, and to Dylan's point, I've been teaching this for about probably a little over a year now. I think March of 2024 was the first class I actually like stepped in and did. I've probably done 25, 30 of these just for local brokerages. And like I said, I've been on international stages, national stages. That's exactly why I build the slides the way I do, is because in the beginning is all the easy implementable, take this nugget and run with it today and change something. But I put, 100 and something slides in here because it goes from beginner to intermediate, intermediate to advanced. So obviously with just the slides, it might be a little hard for you guys to kind of understand. I'm happy to come back and kind of hit on those things down the line. But all of the information is here for you. So if you guys wanted to get a little bit deeper with it, I talk about a bunch of different like here's one for social media. This is a teleprompter, word trim. It's a whole game changer as far as social media goes. There's a ton of different information in here. So feel free, Dylan, to send these slides out and make sure that everybody has what they need. And any questions that you guys have, I'm more than happy to answer for you.
Lauren, one thing I did after we had our top 20 mastermind is you just mentioned it like in passing, and it changed my world. And you were just like, oh, I'll send pictures to it and it'll send it back to me sometimes. And like she was up there talking about how it's doing her lead gen and everything. And I flip houses. And then so one thing I started doing was did the paid ChatGPT. I would then take a picture of a room before it was remodeled. Some of you guys who do investors, this was just a thing that changed my life. I'd take a picture of a room and I would send it just the link to Lowe's of the flooring I was going to use, the link I was going to use of the ceiling fans from Amazon, and then the paint color from Sherwin-Williams, send it a picture of the room, and then it would send it back to me remodeled so that I could, it's not going to be perfect, but it would send it back to me remodeled so that me and my investors or me and my dad are doing a flip right now, and it would send it back to me what it would look like so I could know if that color scheme was going to work. Maybe some of you guys that work with investors or flips or people saying, man, I hate the paint color in here. Pay for that $20 version a month, take a picture of it and say, well, this is what it would look like if you use this color from Sherwin-Williams, and it'll send it right back to you with the room repainted with the furniture still in it. And that's just something you can use in the moment. If you're trying to, talk about a house, see if it's, well, I hate this paint color, for $100, this room can be this color and it'll send it right back to you.
And it will also tell you, if you take a full walkthrough of photos, it'll tell you, it'll budget for windows, it'll budget for a roof, it'll budget for flooring, it'll tell you exactly how many gallons of paint you need. It'll give you everything. And if you take your own Excel spreadsheet or whatever you use for, are you looking for cash on cash? Are you looking for a cap rate? What are you looking for? ARV, dump your stuff into it so it starts to learn how you view the numbers. And then you can work with it and say, hey, if I offer this much, and what's the ARV? What can I walk away with? What's my budget? It'll do all of that for you.
Real quick, one last aha from Rebecca Goodpaster, because I know you guys have been killing it, having your best year yet, and then we'll hop off. What'd you learn, Rebecca?
Well, I had to pop out real quick to go to the bank, but I'm really interested in the notes one. That way that I can just kind of absorb some data really quick. We're really busy around here, so I don't have a whole lot of time to spend watching videos and all that stuff. I do it, but I think that'll be nice to really get a grasp on something that's maybe a little longer than what I can currently do.
Well, guys, thank you. Let's tell Lauren, thank you so much. And also, I really appreciate it. And guys, between me and Jordan, we have a bunch of, we've beefed up the education calendar this month in a huge way. You're going to be getting an email for the month of May, because we just know that Keller Williams has the best education and the best agents within the company. So make sure that you guys are hopping on. In our top 20, somebody that Lauren knows, because they were on the stage together, we have Danny Barron hopping in for our top 20. He'll be with us for top 20. So make sure if you're in the top 20, you remember that. But follow this calendar the rest of this month, because we really, really are trying to step it up for you guys. And I know this is something we can all step away from and be like, oh, this is awesome. So Lauren, thank you so much. I've got pages and notes over here while I was moderating, and I was like, I've got to go implement And here's my thing I always tell you guys, don't go try to implement 32 things from this Zoom. Go take your top 3, implement them, and then if you feel like you've mastered those, come back to the slides and implement more. Because if you go try to implement 78 things, you're going to have to do them all. So that's
Baby steps. And here's the thing too, is the small wins build momentum. And once you get that momentum, it becomes so much easier, right? So I just dropped my Instagram handle in the chat. Feel free to follow me. At the top, I have my link tree. You can jump on a 15-minute free call if you want to chat a little bit more. I do have a school community in there if you're interested in kind of being a part of that. So anything you guys need, you just let me know. But this is kind of my bread and butter lately, is this whole AI stuff and changing lives. So
thank you, Lauren, so much. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. If you're selling that much real estate with 3 people, you're busy. So we appreciate it, and you have a blessed trip going to speak this weekend.
Thank you. All right, sounds good, everybody. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.